All right. Welcome to cryptocurrency, where stuff gets hacked and you lose all your money if you don't know what you're doing. There's a tweet from Richard Hart saying a project that rhymes with Lunchables was just hacked for $62.5 million. This is why using battle tested software is safer. Pulsechain.com is coming up on 1 year of flawless operation, and Hex is coming up on 5. Isn't it amazing that Hex is in its 5th year and it still hasn't been down or hasn't been hacked or hasn't been exploited whatsoever? And now Pulsechain also, it's 2 more months, and then we have completed the first year within Pulsechain. How insane is that? Time goes quick. But also, we haven't had any exploits. We haven't had any hacks within the system. And this is kind of a trend I'm noticing with Richard Hart. The stuff he builds is solid. And that's just an amazing thing in crypto, where everything just falls around you. We've had this with Hex, where everything in crypto just dies around it and it just stays there. And sure, price is down now, but it's still operating and it's still paying out yield trustlessly, and no one can stop it. Now, this project called Lunchables, or Rhymes on Lunchables, is an NFT game that was launched on the Blast chain. And Blast is kind of new. If you know anything about Blast, please let me know. I've did a little bit of research and I found out that Blast is basically a layer 2 solution on Ethereum, where you can send your USDC or your ETH. You can send it there and then it automatically stakes it. It stakes the USDC in Maker, and it stakes the ETH in Lido, and then you get yield from it, which to me doesn't make any sense. Why would you go to a layer 2, which in my eyes has more risk because it's a layer 2, it's built on top of Ethereum, and it needs nodes? As far as I know, if I say something that isn't completely right, please correct me in the comments so that I can learn the small details. But as far as I know, L2s also need to be run, and most of the time they're way more centralized and they can just do whatever they want. They're more of a centralized chain, and it's easier to turn them off or to manipulate them. And yeah, so you're basically just getting another party in between you and your crypto just to get some yield. I thought we learned our lessons with Celsius and FTX and all the other trash. What was it? BlockFi. Whatever stupid stuff is out there that gets your crypto and does something with it for you. Yeah, it's just super dumb. Now, we got this hack from Lunchables, and I'm not entirely sure on all the technicalities, but isn't it interesting? What I found very interesting is that I don't know any project on Pulsechain right now that has had an exploit or a big hack. I'm trying to think of one right now, but I can't really. Definitely not that big. We had sacrifices, which you can have an opinion on, but there haven't, like, our projects just launch, and there's this weird difference in culture or something. On Pulsechain, shit just works. And sure, there are other stuff, of course, on the other chains that also work, and you don't hear about those. You just hear about the trash things. I get that, but for someone that is this close to the chain and is watching it daily, like me, I don't know of any. And if there was any major hack or exploit, I think I would have known about it. If I'm if something moves over my head, if I don't see it, let me know. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, let's move on. There's another tweet from Richard saying, have you kids figured out why L1 chains are better than L2 chains yet? And this is so funny because everyone is just telling this guy what to do. Everyone is telling Richard, hey, you should do this, or why don't you do this? And everyone has opinions. But basically, most people that give opinions to him are just little kids. Everyone is just screaming on the top of their lungs, probably with less knowledge than I have. And I don't even come close to being eligible to scream at Richard or what he should be doing. But it's just funny that this guy knows what he's doing. He's not just a random guy that just decided to create Hex at some point and then all of a sudden decided to create Pulse Chain. And he spent 2 years working. He spent longer on Pulse Chain than he spent on Hex. Or kind of as long, I guess. But I think longer on Pulse Chain. This guy knows what he's doing. Just to give you a little bit of knowledge, because I got it as well, and to give some shout out, I saw How to Pulse react on this post saying, L2 chains run on a few nodes, which makes them basically a centralized database, while L1 chains like Pulse Chain have thousands of nodes and are decentralized. And I guess this is mostly why Richard is saying this. It's just, you're kind of, if you think about it, you're building an L2 chain, right? You're building on top of Ethereum, you're building a different layer, basically. How battle tested is that? Because from my knowledge, there's a lot of delays in L1s. They haven't been around for that long. They have been around, but not as long as Ethereum. So what Richard is, I think, saying is, why wouldn't you just copy Ethereum and do it that way through bridges? Because you have to bridge anyways. Why wouldn't you just take Ethereum's code instead of having to build on top of it? Because that just implies new code, and that just implies new risk, and you need you would need new nodes anyways. Basically, you're just creating something new, whereas the first thing actually worked, and you're just basically copying it anyways. So why don't you really copy it instead of try to change some things, basically? One key takeaway of this video is the fact that we haven't been down, we haven't rolled back the chain, and we haven't been hacked. There's no exploit. Things work most of the time. We have a shitty block explorer, but it's not the worst thing. But it could be better. I would enjoy my experience better. But the key thing is that it's just working, just like Hex. And I'm looking forward to having the 5th year anniversary of Hex, of Flawless Operation, and I look forward to having the 5th year of Flawless Operation of Pulse Chain in 5 years or 4 years. Because I think that's what's gonna happen. If you think about how much hate this guy gets, how much hate Richard Heart receives from the cryptocurrency space. No one's talking about it. Everyone wants him shut down or put in jail, or everyone wants Hex to die. Everyone wants Pulse Chain. Everyone's just ignoring it. But you can bet your house on that a lot of people have tried to pull him down, and to pull Hex down, and to pull Pulse Chain down. Because what's the best way to bring Richard to his knees? Is to attack his protocols. Is to attack Hex and attack Pulse Chain. And there also once was a tweet from Richard saying, I think it was just after he was posting about eHex, he was saying, yeah, I'm gonna just speak the truth no matter how much hate I get, no matter how much you want to pull me down. And then there was one part of the tweet which I found interesting, where he said bigger players are trying to pull me down, and they're not winning either. Something like that. I'm butchering the quote, but Basically, this guy is doing what he does. He does it very well. And the proof is here in that his stuff has never been down. Which is interesting because he's the most hated guy in the space. Let that sink in. He's not talking about when he gets attacked because that would be weird. Because you give insight of more ways of attacking him, basically. But you can, well, what I say, you can bet your house that he's getting attacked constantly, and you're crazy if you think that Pulse Chain and Hex haven't been targeted for attacks or exploits or whatever. And the fact that it hasn't happened is pretty significant. So I suggest you think about that. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.